listening to Life Radio. This is Life with Rob McGowan. Here today with Katie Williams, another amazing singer who's she sent some of her music over, and we're going to be playing it on the station. So I wanted to get her online and talk about the songs. And when you get a song that special, you got to find out why you wrote it, how the whole story behind it. So maybe you can give us a small introduction to yourself, when you got into gospel music and why it interests you so much and what it means to you.
So I'm from Boys Town, New Brunswick, and my dad was a part of the Dusty Roads band, if some may know the history. I just was always around music. I remember very clearly being in people's basements, watching them rehearse, and I would get an opportunity here and there to sing. And when I moved to Fort McMurray when I was 12, I got really involved in my church and the youth group, which was kind of new to me because I only went to church with my grandfather back home and things. So it was kind of new territory. I just started getting involved with the youth and the worship team there. And I had always been writing songs for as long as I can remember. So, and that's kind of where God started to give me that desire to write songs for the church, but more so just about him and what he's done in my life and testimony. Yeah, so it's kind of
awesome. So how many songs have you written, would you say?
In 2012, I put out 7 songs, my originals. You can find them on Spotify and iTunes and stuff. And then I have 7 this year that I'm putting out. One that I just released, and probably another. I don't know how many more. I have lots that are either done or they're just for me and God, or they're not quite finished, so there's always, I would say, another 20, 30 maybe.
So what's your how would you put it, your God story, I guess? So how did you get so interested in gospel music and serving God and your idea of how it all works?
When you watch First Love, the music video, you're going to kind of see a little bit of that. So my grandfather, he's from northern part of New Brunswick. He started bringing me to church as a little girl. And so I used to go to a church home. And he would just really shepherd me through those years. And I just got such a hunger for the Lord. People say how did you do that? You didn't have to go to church. Your parents didn't bring you. And all I can say is that God gripped my heart and I gripped his, and we just didn't let go. And it was just he just, I don't know. I just felt his presence at such an early age. And I was forever changed. And so I've been walking with him ever since. It hasn't been a perfect walk at times, but I've had years where I was a little bit not so focused on him. But yeah, I've just always been in love with the Lord for as long as I can remember. And then as I got older, my grandfather passed when I just moved here, 8 months later. And I felt like God almost passed the baton to me in a funny way, because him and I were the only 2 Christians in our family. And I remember praying this and thinking, okay, God, it's my job now to be the light to my family. And so that's kind of what I took on. I was only 12 or 13, I think so, but I was mature enough in my faith to understand the depth of what I felt God put on my heart then. And I wrote a lot of songs in that season too, actually. But
at 12, you were writing songs? Really?
Oh, younger than that.
Oh.
Yeah. But my first album, there's a couple of songs on my first album that was when I was in my 12, 13, 14-year-old age. Yeah.
Okay, well, so I'm always curious how everybody I talk to is when you say talk to God. So when you talk to God, what is that experience like for you?
It's different all the time. I talk to him just like I'm talking to you a lot of times. Just as a mother now, I'm oh Lord, please help me, and other times it's, hey God, I just need you right now or whatever. A lot of times, sometimes there's the intercessory where I'm just talking to him because there's a need. And other times he speaks to me through the word, mostly. He'll speak to me through music. Sometimes through people, they'll just, say something out of the blue and it answers a prayer that I had asked. That's happened actually quite a bit. So it's kind of neat to see how God is just so kind, and he goes out of his way to affirm things in us when we've asked him for things. So yeah.
Wow. So yeah, I'm always curious because everybody seems to have a different sort of way that they pray or talk or communicate with God. It's kind of
Yeah, I
different.
definitely say singing is more my prayer language if there's a thing. Like even this morning into the new song by Lauren Daigle on the way to school, and my daughters, we always pray at a certain point on our way to the school. And I said, "Girl, I know I got to turn this down so we can pray." And they're like, "That's praying, Mom." And I'm like, "That is so true. This song is praying." And so like I always say, like that's what I love to do is just to, my prayers are melodies. That's just how I look at it. So it's kind of when I'm singing, it's just my way of praying to the Lord as well. So I would say that's my primary way, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah. So now that'll make the songs more interesting when you're listening in. Now we'll see how the sound. So in your writing, so do you think of it like a prayer, like you're asking God about life or about going forward or things going on and stuff like that?
Always. Yeah. I find that's definitely my lane. Like some people write, songs for the church, like the corporate, body,
Right.
so that they sing like praise and the worship, which I have some of those as well. I have some coming out. But oftentimes the Lord and we just have like a really intimate, like almost like a conversation at times. Like even the song First Love that's out right now. It's very much a prayer, like of me talking to God about what I've been just like recognizing in my life and, coming back to my first love, which he spoke to me through the scriptures, that song. It was from Revelations 2. So I just felt him like highlighting that in my own life and like where I needed to kind of maybe like check in on a few things, like do a heart check. And then from there, that song just kind of became, it was just something in me. I had to write about it. And like, it's so crazy because then God will like use that. Like, I can't tell you how many times I heard the phrase first love after I read that scripture. And it was almost like he kept reminding me, don't forget your first love. And so I was like, okay, I get it. I got to write this song. So it was just like a really cool. So some people might think that's coincidence, but I'm always watching for ways to see how God is just like confirming things in my life
Paying
and
attention. Wow.
yeah, like I don't hear his voice. Like I don't hear an audible voice. It's like when you have the Holy Spirit in you, you just sense it in your spirit a lot of times. And if you're watching and expecting, then you're gonna see those. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I understand that. Yeah. I always think of God like uh, I give questions and then the answers sort of come to you. You sort of feel them and hear them and sense them. And then,
Yep.
like you say, I look for confirmation too when I'm talking to people or people come across me and I was like, oh, I was just thinking about that this morning and that's perfectly, yeah. So,
Yeah.
no, I understand that 100%. I agree. This thing I do, I go out every day and I watch the sunrise and I made a pact with God to do that so that it's I start my day out thinking, okay, God, we're going to spend a little bit of time together, figure this out. Am I on the right track here or not? Because, whatever. I'm one of those guys who's falling apart at a constant basis. So, but by doing that, it makes you start out on the right path. I think if you, the old Denzel Washington speech, seek God first, put him first, and then everything sort of falls into place. You got less can go wrong if you're at least starting out on the right track. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and what you described is probably no different than any other person on this planet who tries to live with the Lord. Even everybody in the Bible, we start on the right track, but it can be easily you can make mistakes because that's we're human. But I just had this conversation with the music group that I'm in, and we were just saying just that how like as long as we keep God our focus, we're gonna make stumbles, we're gonna fumble here and there, but if He's our main priority and our focus, like He's gonna walk us through those times. So it's just keeping our eyes on him. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to continue this interview, but we'll pause here for a sec. And what's going to happen is we're going to play the song, and then we'll continue the interview after that.
Awesome.
I could sing 1,000 songs and my voice just sing a melody. I could say 1,000 prayers, but my heart not mean the words I speak. I could be close by your fire and never altar flame. If I'm not searching for the heart of the Father, then dead works remain. I'm coming back to my first love, where the sound of your voice was enough. I'm coming back to the feet of my King, where just to be with you is all I ever need. Oh, you just want my heart, you just want me. So I'm going back to the start with my first love. Oh, with my first love. Oh, and God, I give you all my days, and the ones I even threw away. How I wish that I could change, somehow do it over again. I was falling away and never even knew, but you stayed faithful in my slumber until I found you. I'm coming back to my first love, where the sound of your voice was enough. And I'm coming back to the feet of my King, where just to be with you is all I ever need. Oh, you just want my heart, you just want me. So I'm going back to the start with my first love. Oh, with my first love. Hey. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it, when it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I made it, when it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm coming back to the heart
back with Katie Williams with that beautiful song "First Love," and that you wrote. And what do you have a favorite song that you've written over all your years?
There's a few. I would say the one I'm most excited to put out soon is called "You're So Good." No one's heard it besides like my church. We've done it in my church a few times.
Okay.
I mean, First Love is definitely on the top of the list, but the "You're So Good," I wrote it from at the camper, and it was just like a song of just like thanks, and I just was like, wow, God, you're so good, and everyone loves the song. It's a lot of fun to sing, and I just got it back from the mixer, and it's really good. So I'm excited
So
to show it to
do
the
you
country.
sit down and play the music yourself too? Do you have people around you? Do you just write the words? How do you work it out?
I write it all different. So sometimes I'll be driving and I'll just sing it into my phone and the melody comes with the words. Other times I just get words. Other times I'll sit at the piano and just kind of find a melody and then kind of piece it together as I go. Most of the time though, my favorite ones are the ones that just come all at one time because those are the ones I know are God led because they just download really fast and I just can't, most of the ones that I love the most and they're the ones that I feel like people get the best because I feel like it's more God than it is me. Like,
So do you write music too, or you just write the words? Or
yeah, I chord it out. I'm not
okay,
the strong musician, so what I'll do is I'll chord it or I'll sing it. But now I used to be able to just sing it. Now I can chord my music. And then I'll give it to somebody who's way better, and they'll clean it up and maybe add in a couple more fancy chords in there that I don't know.
okay.
And then, but yeah, I can like map out the song and write the chords on and stuff like that. Enough to play like a good example, but I don't care to play in front of people. It's more me and God.
Oh, so we're not getting a live guitar kind of motion going.
No, I'm happy to delegate that. My instrument has always been my voice for the main part, but no, God's definitely helped me work on my piano, especially during COVID because I had nobody to play for me, so I had to kind of pick up the slack and learn to play a little bit myself when I was doing a lot of Zoom worship um, things. So yeah, so it's
Now, do you
I'm not
play
the
in
best.
your church too and everything, or are you like
Um,
the
I
worship
sing
leader?
and quite a bit. Yeah, yeah. I help worship lead. I kind of help wherever they need me. Whether it's just doing backup or worship leading, kids ministry, anywhere. We're doing a youth event this weekend through my kids' Christian school. So myself and a few others are leading worship for that. So that's gonna be a lot of fun for the grades 5 to 9 kids. So yeah, I just love being plugged in everywhere. I just did an Arctic Winter Games opening ceremonies with our community, which was like outside my church. So that was kind of different for me. That was a ton of fun and yeah, wherever. I usually don't say no very often. If I can get the time, I'll do it. I love doing benefit concerts and whatever we have on the go.
Awesome. Well, when you come home, we want you to come do one with us.
Oh yeah, I would love
we're,
to.
we're looking forward to that. Yeah, we'd love to. We want to have a big bash in the fall with great Christian singers and show what it can be done. So we think
Yeah,
that'd be an amazing thing. And,
that would be fun.
yeah,
Yeah, hopefully I can get home. We'll see. My nan would love me to come home. So
that'd be awesome. We'll work something out. We'll figure it out. It'd be awesome to have you here for sure. So we'll work on that. We'll figure that out. But so tell us about some of the musicians and the people that you work with that help make these songs so beautiful. Because after listening to them, I was like, wow, that's some top-notch stuff that you got going on there.
yeah, I've been very thankful to have been introduced to a lot of really amazing people in the last 12 months. I started a program with Rick Pino and Adam Carpenter. They're based out of the States. I had done a few of their songwriting classes in the past. And so through there, he gives you contacts. And one of the main ones that I found, his name's Travis Kennedy, and he does all my mixing for me. He's just incredible. I actually got to record with him in Texas like in the fall. So it was a really fun experience. And then another opportunity that came through that program was like Luke Anderson from Elevation Worship and a few of his friends. They offered to do a 3-song EP for people in our group at a cost. But so yeah, we just paid them to produce the music. And so First Love and the next two that I'm releasing are all going to be by people who are from Elevation Worship Church. So that's pretty cool because so far I've been able to get all professional musicians on. I'm a really amazing guitarist in Texas that's doing my next 3 songs that he's amazing, like so good. And he found a drummer for me, and then my mixer found somebody in LA who's playing the piano. Like it's just been so neat to see how everything is just like, yeah.
So where do you see it in the future? You figure it's going to keep growing, or you have an idea of where you want to be a couple of years from now?
I have dreams, of course, but it's kind of like where God leads, I'll go, and I feel like he just wanted me to stop hiding away. So I had to step out a little bit in obedience. I keep joking. I had to get off the boat because like I kept trying to get off the boat, but I get back in and whatever. Like, so finally I just last year when I joined this program, I said, I'm just diving in. I know he'll keep me above the water, and like, I just got to keep my eyes on him. And so wherever he leads me, I'm going to go. I mean, and I won't go if he doesn't send me, but I mean, I would love to be able to say that this is something I get to do all the time. But as of now, I do bookkeeping during the day. But yeah, no, it's yeah, my heart is definitely I have a creative part of me that I wish I could do more of. So we will see.
Well, the music's beautiful. I don't see why it wouldn't expand and grow and do really well.
Yeah.
And, so people can order it now. If you go to Spotify, they can order your music and stuff. Okay.
Yep. Any platform. So if they go on my social media, if you look me up, Katie Williams Music on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere, TikTok, you'll find my LinkedIn tree, and there you can stream like anything that I have going on my website, all that stuff. My website's katiewilliamsmusic actually.com. And then you can just go on there, and it's on Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes.
And Life Radio now too.
And Life Radio. There you go. Yeah.
For sure. Oh yeah. Maybe I'll get you to, we'll figure out how to put you into one of my theme songs or something here. Get something going. I like it. It's nice if you know the artist. It's always nice. It's a better fit for sure. And we like to support everybody who's this kind of music growing up and going through it, and do everything we can to get it on there and get everybody listening to you. So I'm looking forward to playing it all.
Yeah, my family, I'm from Miramichi, so it's really exciting to be able to have people home, be able to hear the song. So
yeah, it's nice to know that somebody from here too, even though you're away, but we can say it's a local artist, and we're all about promoting local here. So radio should promote local people.
Yeah.
They are multi-talented and traveling around the world.
Yeah.
Doing so good. That's
definitely
great.
Yeah, it's been very sweet. Yeah.
And I think I don't know who was your uncle or somebody called me, or a second cousin or something. And
yeah, my cousin.
Oh, he's your number one fan, I think. It's like, you got to hear this girl. I said, what do you mean? So I was like, oh, she's really good. Wow.
Oh yeah, so sweet. He asked if he could send it to you, and I was like, of course. So he actually sent it to a few other people too. So I thought that was just so nice of him to do that. And that's all it takes, right? Because I mean, I don't know the people that he knows, so it's nice for him to like. And I hope other people do it, because I really want people to hear the message of the song and grip their hearts, and I just feel like it's something that everyone can relate to, and so.
No, it's awesome. Well, they're gonna love it. I've played it quite a few times now since I brought it over, and it's really good. So and whatever, I'm gonna look up a bunch of it now and just see what else we can get in here. Get a whole bunch of music playing.
And I got more coming. So if you follow my social media and stuff, or even if you go like on Spotify, you'll see stuff come up as it releases. So.
Oh yeah. So you're working on anything right now?
I have one that's coming out very soon, and I'm just working with someone to figure out the best way to put it out there. And then I have one more after that, and it's going to be part of like the one EP. And then I have 3 more after that I'll be putting out, kind of staggered. So they kind of do like the waterfall effect. You kind of like slowly seep it out. It's not like before when you used to put out a whole album at once.
Yeah.
You just do singles now, so it's a bit more work, but it's nice because people get to kind of get to know one song at a time. So.
Well, that's true. Yeah. And, well, I'm looking forward to it for sure. So make sure you send them over, and we'll do interviews and get them out there for people to hear them. I think it'll be great. And so I'm trying to think if there's anything, what's something spectacular somebody would want to know. What's the hardest song you ever wrote? One that just sort of got to you and you were like, emotionally.
Well, no one has heard this one outside my family, but I am getting ready to record it. I wrote for my grandfather when he passed away in September. and we were all going home. So I had like 3 days. That was it. And I just felt so strongly I wanted to write him a song. And so that was the hardest one. It was probably the easiest one I wrote because I had so much words and things I could say about him, but then I had to figure out how to compress it into actual like song. But then it was the hardest one to sing because my dad played it and I sang it, and it was very intimate and beautiful and emotional. But I just want to honor his legacy to our family. So it was really nice. I felt like I was like representing the Fairley family, as a whole through the lyrics. So that's probably the most precious one on like that kind of thing. I have another song that's really precious that's coming out later this year called Waiting. And I wrote that from like a season where I was kind of struggling. So yeah, it was, but
You
that
were
one,
waiting on God, like the song's about waiting for God to help you.
yeah. And then it just goes back to Isaiah 26:3, when our mind is at peace and we stay steadfast and we trust in him. So it's kind of like, okay, God, I'm like, where it was actually waiting on this music stuff. Like, what do you have planned for me, Lord? And this was like 4 years ago, I think 3 years ago, I wrote this. And I was like, I'm so restless. Like, what are you doing? Like, I thought you gave me this desire to write songs and to sing, and nothing's happening with it. Like, was that it? Is that all you had for me, kind of thing, right? And then, so it's just talking about that waiting. But then I turn it around and just say, you know what, God, it's for your glory and all those kinds of things. And just kind of turn around. And then I reference Isaiah 26:3, saying, like, I'm just going to have peace, and stay steadfast and trust in you. And then the bigger picture, and I don't. So, yeah. So I'll just have peace in the waiting and just kind of hang out.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I can't wait to hear that one, actually, especially
Yeah.
with your grandfather and the story about that. That sounds pretty
Yeah.
emotional.
Most of my songs have stories or some kind of place that I wrote it from, for sure. Almost everyone.
Now, do you find I write music a lot too. I'm
Yeah.
not doing it I just do it because I love it. But the do you write poetry at all, or write things down before you write music? Do you have little, like, sometimes you just write prose and things like that?
Yeah, I actually have a full, like, I journal, and I have like a
Okay.
prayer journal. Plus I have like my journal, like that I kind of keep like a log of things. But like my prayer journal just the other day, the word living water, stood out to me. And I just wrote 2 pages full of lyric slash poem. I don't know what you call it. And eventually I'm hoping I'll turn that into a song. But it's just like my thoughts. They just all come out. And I've always wrote poems my whole life. So actually my first album, there's a few of those songs that were just poems. And then I put melodies to them later on, like 10 years later kind of thing. So yeah.
Do you paint or draw or anything like that as well? No? Okay.
My daughters do. They're great. No, definitely more. I would say I'm creative in like some things, but not so much on the arts stuff. But definitely more in I like to create like the music, and I love like the music video for First Love that's out right now on my YouTube page. Like that was all my imagination. I just could not get away from it, and I asked the videographer like, "Hey, is this even a possibility?" And he's like, "Oh, we could totally do that." So like I have video like imagery in my mind for all my songs because I just think that's just so fun. I don't have the budget to make a video every time, but if I could, I definitely love to create a story. So I think that's kind of my niche.
Well, it's giving me my warning for my time out here. Got about 6 minutes left. So, Katie Williams, and if you want to give them, just wrap it up with your, like, tell them your address again and things like that, where they can come get your music and see your stuff, your social media, things like that. So where would they go to find you?
So if you go to, there's a few places. If you go to Instagram or Facebook, you're going to find me at Katie Williams Music. If you're into TikTok, same way, Katie Williams Music. My website is katiewilliamsmusic.com. And on there, you'll have the links to come find my music on LinkedIn. If you go to Spotify or iTunes, if you just type in Katie Williams, you should find me, no problem. And yeah, that's kind of the best way to stream any of the songs that you like. And if you want to join my mail group, you can on my website so that you can kind of get updates as things happen. And yeah, join me on Instagram. I'm posting every day. I like to encourage people, as much as I can, and post
That's
about
awesome. That's
and
awesome.
what I heard. Yeah.
I'll have to link you into my different social media there. Get that going for sure. Well, we want to thank you for coming in today and for sharing this great music with us. And now we're going to start playing it on Life Radio, so you'll be able to click in from anywhere around the world and hear yourself on the radio quite often.
Thank
And
you so
since we got this interview up, it should be up in the next day or two. We'll have it up and running. And, I'll let you know when it's going to play so you can tune in.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Katie, for spending some time with us today.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
You have a great day.
You too.
So I'm going.